So, I wanted to make a quick video here. Let me start this truck. We'll go on the shopping. Gonna build a kind of redo a parking lot and some road work today. Heater on. Perfect. But anyways, what I want to kind of talk about is, I'm sure a lot of people have seen the video where Chance Barber is talking about that Detroit transmission, them not wanting to sell them parts or parts to that transmission in case of a failure and stuff. And I'm definitely not defending Detroit's decision with that at all. I don't like the idea of that. That's why I'm a huge Cat fan. Even though they do have their flaws when it comes to parts and support, nobody beats them. And you can get parts, you can get anything you want. You can break it down to the smallest little O-ring, or you know, up to intensive comprehensive kits or full replacements if you want. But one thing, you can't put the blame on Detroit entirely, because the problem is, and I'm like, with my industry, being a mechanic and even driving truck and stuff, is America's come to a point where we definitely have probably one of the most educated societies to walk the earth, but we have the most educated but the least skilled. So nobody has any trade skills. As far as mechanics go, there's not a mechanic shop in this area, you know, that is fully staffed and not hiring. I mean, every single shop around, all the heavy equipment shops, all the trucking companies, everybody's hiring any sort of skilled labor, plumbers, electricians, all that. And the wages are starting to show. The wages are going up significantly compared to what they used to be. They kind of used to be I wouldn't say a whatever job, but you know, they weren't big hitters and making money. But now your Joe Blow mechanic is making pretty good money, and your Joe Blow truck driver is making pretty good money. And if you're half good at either one, you're going to make a lot of money. But yeah, in terms of them not selling parts, has a lot more to do with, like, for an example, you can't just say it's just Detroit by themselves, right? So yesterday we picked up a tractor that it was a warranty job, and it had a liner leak. It was on I think it's I can't remember the name brand of that engine, but it's in a big New Holland tractor, big front wheel assist, and it had a liner leak. They put a short block in that engine because of a liner leak. And just the thought of that is unbelievable. Like, what's the point of a linered engine? You're gonna slap a short block in there for a failed O-ring. I mean, that's hugely expensive compared to what it could have been. Just put the tractor and pull that out. But that's the world we live in, right? And same thing with you know, these 7.3 lifter failures. These lifters are going out and they're putting full short blocks in, or I think they're even putting long blocks in and etched. But that's simply because those dealers are worried about their technician's skill set, right? And they're willing to just pay them more money up front to have that put together in a more controlled facility than out in a dealer shop. And it's a sad deal, but that happens all the time. The dealers are in our engines all the time. And well, it's because, I'm gonna say this loosely, but most of the time dealer techs are subpar mechanics at best, and they're nothing more than hardly a kind of an advanced code reader, right? And so yeah, it sucks that Detroit said that, and I was a stupid guy to say that to. But you know, I ran into that down there at ConExpo too. You ask these representatives and they don't have a clue. I was really picking on people for what they're running for fuel pumps to see who was still hanging on to the CP4 and who wasn't. And I'd say 4 out of every 10 guys really knew what they were talking about and what their engines were putting out and how they were designed and their fuel pumps and stuff. And like I said in this other video I'm going to upload here shortly, is I did get to talk to a Bosch engineer for a while, and that was really a neat opportunity, but we can talk about that in another video. But Yeah, it's tough, and I don't defend Detroit's decision at all. I think that's a terrible idea to not just sell parts. But in terms of like think about it. How many guys do you know these days that are putting in hard parts and rebuilding transmissions and engines anymore? I mean, look at the machine shops. We're losing machine shops. We're probably losing a machine shop in the country every 10 minutes. The guys are just retiring and nobody's going into it. And these skilled trades, it's turning into a kind of a pick your price as an employee, as a owner, you know, like I run into that a lot. I'm extremely busy and I can't seem to find too much help. And but it's getting to the point I'm kind of gonna have to start raising my price just to I don't know, kind of alleviate this extreme amount of work I got backed up. I just can't get ahead of it, and which is good. And I'm just going to get customer picky. I'm going to work for the people I want to, and the people I don't, well, you have to find somebody else. But same deal, another project, or another topic. But you know, that's not the world we live in anymore. Is these guys that, you know, rebuild transmissions on the weekends and go back to work, and like just. It's just not it. Everything's R&R. You know, there's one transmission shop in this whole area that really truly rebuilds transmissions, takes them apart and builds them in shop, and that's Mile High Truck down in Denver. Every other shop around here, you're buying a Weller R&R, right? You just buy a painted Weller unit and you slap it in and away you go. And but it's just a lack of skilled labor. It's not that Detroit probably doesn't want to sell you parts, but who's going to put them in anymore, you know? And so yeah, and look at the market for that automated transmission. The market for that automated transmission is not handy people. The reason the automated transmission is out is because people couldn't handle the manuals, and they can't find drivers. And one of my customers is, we literally have got a pretty nice dump truck sitting out back right here. Oh, the compressor kicked on. But it's a manual, you know, and it's a manual transmission, and nobody wants to drive it. So we just bought another automatic the other day and cleaning that up, so you can drive an automatic, and it's the way you go. All the lineman trucks are automatic. I mean, a lot of the companies that are getting people their CDLs out of the gate are just running automatics. So yeah, that's a terrible deal, but we gotta turn the blame around a little bit on the people we're employing and the people we're raising, and how what we're turning the world into. And it's not really just the manufacturer's fault as much as it is all of ours for just the people getting lazy. And so kind of in a different take on that, but it is what it is. And that's kind of my thoughts. But yeah, I don't feel bad for Detroit. They put themselves in that bind, but that video went absolutely viral, and now that it's a bummer deal. But at the end of the day, the people buying those automated transmissions, they don't care. They want an R&R unit. They're not looking to build in-house. You know, Swift and all those guys, and Knight Trucking and all those big truckers. They're not doing this. They're never going to pull a Freightliner Columbia in the shop 35, 40 years later. 40 years. The truck's 40 years old. 40 years later, and go through them because they're cool and fun to drive. And so it is what it is. But there's my 2 cents on that deal. So thanks for watching.